One, two, three, let's
Awesome.
start. Okay. Hi everyone. Welcome to the Hunyah Show. Today our guest is currently Miss Galaxy Lionshead 2022, and she has begun the Commonality Movement. Today on the Hunyah Show, our guest is Miss Galaxy Lionshead. Allison Chisholm has begun the Commonality Movement. The Commonality Movement impacts many people who face mental health situations every day. Welcome, Allison Chisholm. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
And I know that you've been a part of many pageants and you're doing like a lot of things. And Miss Galaxy Lionshead, that is the big one that right now
Yeah.
will happen in 2022, and you're doing amazing things.
Thank you.
So to begin with, my first question is, Allison, I know you're part of Miss Galaxy Canada 2022. How did your journey begin as Miss Galaxy Canada 2022?
Well, I got interested in the Canada Galaxy pageant a couple of years ago, but I ended up having my daughter, so I put everything on hold. And one of my really good pageant friends, I call her my pageant sister, although until now we haven't competed in any pageants together. Melanie Renaud is the current title holder of Miss Galaxy Canada 2021. She was the one who brought me into my pageant journey. She is a really good friend of mine. She actually coached me through my last pageant. So she really inspired me to, take the leap of faith and jump into this super inclusive, super family driven pageant system. And it's awesome because Galaxy is a very inclusive family. Being a young mom in the Miss Division, it's nice to see a pageant system include us mothers.
You mentioned Melanie. I remember she's the director for Miss Confidence Canada.
Yeah, she is. She encouraged me to compete in Miss Confidence Canada, and that's where my whole pageant journey started. I've known Melanie since I was about 13.
Wow,
so it's almost been 10 years. Yeah, so we've kind of like grown as pageant sisters together, and she's kind of like my pageant big sister, and she's really taught me everything I know.
Yeah, I think I read that she's also like volunteered at over 800 different places as well. That's just amazing. I'm thinking like 800. I only go up till 60, but 800 is a lot.
Yeah, she's done a lot. She's a wonderful girl. She's the perfect title holder for Miss Galaxy Canada 2021, and I also can't wait to see what she does with her reign. I'm super excited for a chance, super excited to compete for that title. I mean, that's some big shoes to fill, but we're gonna get there.
That sounds so amazing.
Yeah.
It's like everyone kind of knows you. It's like a network that we have. So Allison, I know you began a commonality movement. How does the commonality movement impact people who have mental health situations?
So the commonality movement all started because of my willingness to share my story. My platform personally for my own pageant really focuses on postpartum, self-care, and all things motherhood. And I was really encouraged to start sharing my story. The pageant gal, Maria Giorlando, she made a post a little while ago calling all people to tell their stories and then tag her in it. And I told my story about my experience with mental health and addiction inside and outside of motherhood. So I figured with how many people I touched with my story, I started to think, I wonder how many people we could touch if we had a bunch of stories. I wonder how many lives we could change with story after story of so many different individuals from all across Canada and all across the United States and all across the world. So I started the commonality movement with a simple form to fill out, and then I would take that form and contact you if I need more information, or if you'd like to stay anonymous, I would make do with what I have. And I just share your stories with the world. I have only posted one so far, and that was a sexual abuse survivor story, and it was really inspiring. That is up on my Instagram page, which we'll get to later. I've had quite a few.
I signed up for the commonality movement myself.
Yep. I've had your application. I've had quite a few other applications, and I'm really excited to start sharing these stories of these amazing women, teenagers, young. I don't want to say young children, but like children who have experienced different kind of things that, most people wouldn't come forward about. I have had a few anonymous responses, which is also amazing, and I encourage completely because not everybody's ready to talk about their story with their name and face yet. So when they come with the anonymity, it might be the first time that they're talking about it, and also could be
broad itself. Like there's so much mental health. Like for me, it's anxiety at times, because if I have like something where I know I'm gonna like do well, or I know like I need to get the outcome of it, then I'm up all night. I can't sleep.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way, especially when it comes to the pageant world. I'm a perfectionist, and I really strive to be the best person I can be all the time. Not even just in pageantry, but in general. I think with a combination of motherhood and pageantry, and being a working mom and a college student, I totally understand the anxiety aspect of everything.
I know what you mean, because I'm currently back to school myself, and it's like you have to get everything back in, like when you're back in there, it's like you have to get everything back in the deadlines, if you do your research and all this, and it could be another thing in there, right?
Yeah.
Because and like for you, you're a mother, so it's like it's a lot different. It's like you're in pageant, you're also studying, you have a child, so you have like 2-3 different people.
I'm also a business owner too, so I do a little bit of everything, and I'm a little bit of everywhere. But the Commonality Movement definitely gives me something to focus on, and it gives me the opportunity to share the stories of so many incredible people. And I think that's something so important. You never know how far a voice could go, and you never know what kind of impact your words can make, even if it's on a social media platform. So I think that's the big thing behind the commonality.
That's the thing with social media as well. And with the Commonality Movement, like I see like a lot of people are going to come to you, they're going to speak to you about their situations, how they deal with it, and what are they doing. And it's like everyone has a story in this case when it comes to mental health. Allison, I was thinking, would you like to share the like how can people sign up for?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. I'll just share my screen here real quick.
Okay.
Alrighty, so this is the application through Google Forms. It's a short little application. It'll take about 5 minutes. So I'll just read this little part here. Thanks for your interest in being part of the Commonality Movement. Feel free to leave your contact information, but this can be done anonymously as well. Please fill out the questionnaire as best as you can. If you decide to remain anonymous, please ensure you filled out every single question that you're comfortable with. That's a big thing. I don't want people thinking that I'm going to push for information. If there's a section where it asks you if you're okay with being contacted. If you're not, I will not find you. I will not hunt you down, I promise. So if you're uncomfortable with any of the below questions, type not applicable in the box. So the first one is, where are you from? Pretty generic. Where are you from? What is your first name and last initial? Some people do tend to put their first and last name in, especially if they're pageant title holders. And then you can also type anonymous if you're uncomfortable sharing your name. And I have a variety of options to talk about anxiety, depression, eating disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress.
Because there's so much in there.
Yeah, there's so much in there. And even if there's even like burnout and stress, substance use, domestic violence, postpartum experiences, COVID-19 related stuff, mental health and men, self-harm. And then there's this really important other box here. I added that in there. So if there's nothing that you can relate to here, but you can think of something that needs to be talked about, and you can think of something that you want to share your story about, you can always hit this other and it'll give you the option to type.
There's so many things in mental health itself. Yeah. It's like there's a lot of things. And I know when I was doing the form, I didn't find it like very difficult. I found it very easygoing and simple, because it's like, okay, with me, I have this thing about being anxious, so I told my story in there. And then it's like, okay, it was like, and I'm actually surprised that you put in there mental health in men, because usually, like, I don't see like many people going towards men's mental health. I recently started seeing that on social media.
Yeah, I've
men and women.
I've lost quite a few male friends to mental health issues and addictions and etc. And I think it's really, really important that we end the stigma on men's mental health. I think it's something that needs to be spoken about, because, boys are always taught to be, strong men and to, hold back their tears.
But they don't show emotion much. That's the thing.
Yeah. And they don't talk about that kind of stuff. But I think it's so important for the men in the world to be comfortable to share this kind of thing with people. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge that men do have feelings, and men do cry, and men are allowed to talk about these things, and they don't have to be these big, strong people all the time. And yeah, I think it's just really, really important that the men have the platform to share too.
Like,
yeah,
it's like there's so many stigmas around mental health.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about ending the stigma around mental health, we do talk about it in womanhood a lot, and in the teenage years and all that stuff. But the men's mental health rate is still extremely high, and there isn't really a proper place for them to talk about it. And I think it's important that we start including these men in our day-to-day lives, in our stories.
I agree. Like there is situations like that, but it's like no one wants to talk about it.
Well, I do. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I agree. We should talk about it.
We should.
Yeah.
So after all those options, you can pick from one, or you can pick other and type in your own. I have a tell me your story, and this is basically type out your story, all of it, in your own words from your perspective. And there's no text limit as to how much you can put. And I've had some wonderful responses in there already. I think they're amazing, all these amazing pageant title holders and these amazing women, and everybody just, coming to me with these stories. They are so inspiring, and I've had a few actually make me cry. Yeah.
And I know this Bella's topic each year, right? So I think that with the Commonality Movement, maybe you might get offered with Belle in that situation to maybe be with
That's the goal. That's the goal. I want to make this big, and I'm going to make this a permanent thing. I know some people just expect me to finish this after September of 2022 when I compete for the national title, but I think the Commonality Movement will be a thing that I continue every day for the rest of my life until, I'm not here anymore. And I think that's something that everybody needs to have a little part of in their life. I think it's something that doesn't have a limitation, and I think it's something that needs to be continuously shared and continually brought on towards the public.
I agree with you, like really good points. And I definitely encourage everyone, like to the viewers, that definitely reach out to you and definitely go for the Commonality Movement, because I see it like happening.
I do too, and I have big dreams and big hopes for this thing, so let's do this. I would love to share people's stories.
True. I agree.
Yeah, okay, so below I have contact information. If you're not comfortable with this, you'll see the little asterisk right here where my little mouse is. Yes or no. If no, ignore these. If yes, please put these in. Sometimes I reach out for photos, or I'll reach out for more information, or social media stuff along that lines. And then this last one, oh, sorry.
The last one is to contact you, right? That if you want to share more information.
Yeah, so this one, these two here are contact me. And then this one was, would you be willing to add a photo to this post? If you will be contacted if you answer yes. So I've had a lot of pageant title holders talk about their stories with me, and they've all checked yes, and I've all included their pageant headshots. I think it's a great way to get your name out there, get your story out there. And
I agree. Yeah. And this actually eventually goes into your platform too. I've seen it in a way, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing here.
Okay. So my third question is, Allison, what are your plans for the Commonality Movement? Like, what's the next steps for the Commonality?
Next steps, I am eventually going to give it its own social media handles. I do want to get it on a separate page rather than just combined with my pageant stuff, because as soon as my pageant's done, I want it to have its own platform. I want it to be its own big deal. I do plan on reaching out to a few big name people who I will not name yet, to see if they are interested in sharing their stories. I think it's super important that we not only have, small town community people, or our friends, our family, but I think it's important that we have, big names come forward and share their stories and talk about why it's okay to talk about this kind of stuff.
I see. That's just really good. And I agree with you. Like, go for the Commonality Movement. Like, it's going to be the next big thing. In like,
I hope so. I hope so.
See how it goes. And one thing I've seen is, like, when you're like, whether you're just a contestant or a title holder, like you can actually do something while you're in
Yep.
there. It might be like it's like 1 year to be in a pageant or any pageant, but the stuff you do in there, they help you for like the rest of your life. Like that's what I know from being pageants, from being
yeah, and hopefully one day, this doesn't really fit with my schedule now because I'm doing 100 different things, but hopefully one day we turn into more of a virtual meeting setting, kind of like this. I'd like to have those who are comfortable with sharing their stories online and who are comfortable with sitting in front of a camera like you and I right now to come on and talk about their stories and to talk about why they want to tell their stories and what they learned from their story. And I think it's really important that we talk about this kind of stuff. So eventually, hopefully,
empowerment in a way of starting Commonality Movement, talking about mental health. Like there's so many different things attached to it, like the way I see it.
Yeah.
And my last question is, Allison, would you like to share your social media handles?
I would love to. Okay, so I'm going to shoot a bunch off. My pageant title is for Instagram and Facebook is Miss Galaxy Lion's Head. Just Miss Galaxy Lion's Head, just like on the sash here. And then I have my personal Instagram, which is just Allie, ALLY, period, Chisholm, CHISHOLM. That is my Instagram handle. And then again, I mentioned I'm a business owner, Peninsula Wix, PENINSULA Wix on Instagram and Facebook. And that's me.
Okay, so everyone, make sure you do join the Commonality Movement, and make sure you follow Allison, Miss Galaxy Lion's Head on all social media platforms, and definitely connect with her. And be sure to follow and like and subscribe to the Hunyah Travels Hunyah Show. And there'll be a new episode coming in soon. So this is the Hunyah Show Queen to Queen with Allison Chisholm on the Commonality Movement. So hopefully we'll see you again. Bye, everyone. Anything you want to add?
I don't think so, but thank you for having me, and I hopefully look forward to talking to all of you about the Commonality Movement even more.
Thank you, everyone, and be sure to tune in soon for another episode of the Hunyah Show, Queen to Queen, and be sure to like and subscribe to Hunyah Travels and watch the Hunyah Show Queen to Queen, and bye, everyone.